It's okay, we can start? Ok. Primeiro, pedir desculpas em nome da organização e do secretariado por estarmos 15 minutos atrasados, porque entendemos nós, em conjunto com o secretariado da atividade da Zona 6, fazer um pequeno ajuste ao nosso programa. Isso porque durante o dia de ontem foi bastante proveitoso, conseguimos debater todas as questões essenciais que vinham para esta Assembleia e depois terminou com um pequeno jantar oferecido pelo Comitê Olímpico aos nossos convidados, que espero que tenham gostado de viver uma experiência diferente, vulgarmente conhecido como um rodízio brasileiro, para que saiam de Angola com algumas recordações. Dentro do ajuste de programa que fizemos, conseguimos encontrar espaço para, durante o dia de hoje, fazer uma pequena visita à cidade de Luanda e também fizemos um segundo ajuste. Como dissemos ontem, temos na sala delegadas praticamente de todo o país. E elas, de iniciativa própria, surpreenderam-nos em querer trazer para esta reunião um bocado de cada região de Angola. Elas hoje entenderam trazer uma indumentária, uma roupa típica, tradicional da região onde vivem. Como vos disse ontem, Angola é um país com 18 províncias, com diferentes culturas, com diferentes costumes, e hoje os nossos convidados vão conseguir sair daqui com uma pequena noção de como se vestem, como dançam, e apreciem e guardem nas vossas memórias esse bocado de Angola. Vou pedir ali ao nosso organizador, ao nosso técnico de som, para pôr a música, e vamos começar por chamar da província de Benguela, que é uma província do litoral de Angola, a senhora Diolinda Trindade, naturalmente ao som da música. Boa. Só um minuto, Diolinda. Diolinda Trindade, da província de Benguela. Diolinda. Põe o microfone.
Remain low or unequal, with the following challenges continually being experienced. And I think this is the main challenge that we are sitting with. One, lack of adequate women candidatures during the election period. In the previous quadrennia, there are knocks and countries that struggle with getting women to raise up their hands and to register their candidatures for elections. And this is one of the main problems. We can set quotas from 30% to 50%, but if we don't have women candidatures during the election period, the quotas is defeated. So we really need more women candidatures to be registered during the election period. Problem number two, or challenge number two, onboarding of gender and equal leadership structures. There are certain organizations that even though there's a quota that has been set, they continue to onboard gender unequal leadership structures, and this needs to be corrected. Problem area number three, lack of adequate board-ready women with leadership substance. So we don't really have a pool, a wide pool of women that are board-ready with leadership substance. And in this case, when we don't have such a pool, gender equality and it ends up being a compliance matter rather than
da província de Malange a Luzia Jacinto, a nossa mais velha.
That is one of the problems that we continue to experience. A long-standing challenge for sporting organizations is identifying and recruiting women.
Da província do Mochico, Aida Chilata.
In short, sport has a pipeline problem when it comes to female talent. As I have said,
da província da Lunda Sul,
have a wide
a Quambi Xisang,
with leadership substance that
província do norte da Angola.
and that's the problem that we are dealing with. Come the election time, come the people, many organizations are struggling for numbers.
Da província vizinha da Lunda
To
Norte,
meet the requirement just to comply. Simply because we don't have a wide group of women that can take up roles and
Cecília Chibinda,
governing boards. And that's our problem that we are seeking with. At the end of this presentation, when the
da
panel
Lunda Sul,
engages,
Arlete
I guess
Batista,
the critical question would be, how do we address the problems and the challenges that this presentation is raising, together with the members that are in this committee.
do Cunene, Alice
Moving
Sampaio,
along to the
província do
slide,
Cunene,
the role of NOCs. Due to the problem and challenges that sport continue
da
to
província
experience
do Ambo,
in
Ana
relation
Paula,
to representation of women at various leadership levels, the role and responsibility of NOCs or national federations is of utmost importance. We can never remove
caras delegadas, muito obrigado pela vossa
It's the role, the
apresentação.
critical
Uma
role.
salva de palmas para as nossas representantes da música. Tira a música. Obrigado. Obrigado, caras delegadas. Muito obrigado pela vossa representação. Teremos tempo durante o coffee break. Por favor, tomem os vossos assentos. Teremos tempo durante o coffee break para fazer as fotografias. Agradeço que tomem os vossos assentos. Caros convidados, como sabem, Angola, um país situado na África Austral, é um misto de diferentes culturas. Isso por força das nossas fronteiras, a sul com a República da Namíbia, no leste com a Zâmbia e uma parte com a RDC, e no norte com a RDC e o Congo-Brazzaville. Uma das nossas províncias, Cabinda, está praticamente no interior da República do Congo. E isso traz esse misto de culturas. Se nós olharmos para as regiões do Cunene, do Cuando-Cubango, temos muita semelhança com as culturas da Namíbia, do leste com a cultura da Zâmbia e do norte com a cultura da RDC e do Congo-Brazzaville. E eu acho que as nossas meninas hoje demonstraram um bocado o que é esse misto de culturas. Naturalmente temos outras províncias do litoral de Angola, do interior, e tivemos aqui hoje uma representação da forma como se vestem. Eu pedia mais uma salva de palmas para as nossas meninas. Continuando o nosso trabalho, como informamos ontem, fizemos alguns ajustes. Hoje vamos trabalhar non-stop, apenas com um coffee break por volta das 10h30, 11 horas. Depois continuamos os trabalhos e vamos terminar tudo antes da hora do almoço, para nos permitir então no período da tarde fazer um pequeno passeio pela acolhedora cidade de Luanda. Ontem já saímos um pouco, mas como era noite, estava a chover, penso que já ficaram com uma ideia da nossa bela cidade. Mas hoje acho que vamos ver um bocado as praias de Luanda e alguns edifícios emblemáticos como a Assembleia Nacional, o Palácio Presidencial, que acho que são imagens boas para vocês guardarem com vocês. Vou então chamar a senhora Matabo, para fazer uma pequena apresentação em conclusão da jornada de ontem, e depois vamos ter também uma apresentação da nossa representante do Eswatini. Joe, you can manage this moment, please. John. Miss Matabo, please.
Yeah, it's okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Matato Mahorole from Lesotho National Olympic Committee. So John told me I have 7 minutes. I think I'll take 3 so that I leave some time for questions if there are any. So anyway, yesterday I was asked to give a small presentation about my memo study. So I was in the 2023 to 2024 memos, and my research project is very relevant to what we are doing today, which is why I was asked to briefly share that project. So my research with memos, or for those who do not know memos is the executive master's course that the International Olympic Committee finances. So it's a 1-year course, and at the end of that course, you are asked to do one research project to present it. So mine was relevant to what we are doing here, which is why I was asked to briefly share. So my research was to try and find a strategy to increase the number of women in leadership positions in Lesotho. So I will not go into detail about the whole process that I followed. Instead, what I will do is only share the recommendations that I came up with at the end of that research. But before I talk about the recommendations, I'll quickly just add that the data that I collected, I talked to some of the National Olympic Committees in the region. Thank you. Is that better? Oh, thanks. Sorry about that. So the data that I collected, I talked to some of the National Olympic Committees in the region to find out how they are doing and what it is that they are doing to increase the number of women in their executive boards. And then in the country, I talked to some ladies who have been in leadership roles for a long time, such as Madame Matlohang and Dr. Lebohang Khumari over there. I sat down with them and talk to them about how have you managed to assume leadership roles and what can we learn from you. And then I also talked to women who would otherwise not want to assume leadership roles. And I wanted to understand what is preventing them from wanting to stand up and take roles in their executive boards. So similar to what Lwandi showed us yesterday with the South African case, their executive board at SASCOG, they are at 50-50 with male and female. But then she did present and showed us that when it goes to the national federations, they don't have enough number of women. It is the same case for us in Lesotho. So it was presented yesterday that Lesotho, in the executive board, we have 42% women in the executive board. But then when you go to the national federations, you find there are some national federations that don't even have one woman in their leadership, which is what was the cause of my research project. So the recommendations that I came up with, a lot of them though, it's similar to some of the things that were discussed yesterday. So first, I recommend that because the Lesotho National Olympic Committee has in its strategic plan this wish to have at least 30% women in executive board, not only in the LNOs, in the Lesotho National Olympic Committee, but also in the national federations. So my first recommendation was that there has to be a gender equality, gender diversity policy, and there has to be a safeguarding policy, because because currently we do not have those two policies. With those two policies in place, that's then how we'll map out how we can be able to achieve our strategic objective. I also, yesterday, Dr. Khomari presented here with the successes of Lesotho for 2024 and mentioned what we call Emerging Women Leaders program that we were implementing. The other recommendation that I came up with was that programs like those should actually continue. And in fact, with the current ongoing project, I came up with a recommendation that as a Lesotho National Olympic Committee, we have to follow through and see those leaders, those women that we have put into this program and follow their journey and see that it actually succeeds. And otherwise, I talked about the creation of platforms such as what we're having now, so that there are gender equality forums. So my recommendation is, if we want to see an increase in the number of women who stand up for leadership positions, you have to have regular forums, because it is in forums like this where there'll be lessons learned that people can share experiences, and people can motivate each other to actually, give them confidence to be able to take up leadership roles. And in this kind of forums also, I believe that this is where you can also break the barriers. I think Kagiswa did mention yesterday that there's still a bit of resistance from the male counterparts sometimes to actually support the women to take up leadership roles. So if you have several forums on gender equality, on equity, then you will be able to improve the number of women. The other thing that I think has not been mentioned yet in the discussions that we have, that I came up with as a recommendation, is to use motivation factors. So the National Olympic Committee can use what we call performance-based financing to the national federations. So what I mean is the national federations that have more women in their boards, as motivation, give them more support. So you have funding at the beginning of the year, and I think Nozipo was saying yesterday that in SASCOC, they have funding for all of their commissions that has been set aside. So perhaps the other thing that can be done is when you support your national federations, there's certain funding that is kept for a national federation that has a certain percentage. So other than your normal budget that you provide, say a national federation which now has 50% women representation will also have certain funding. So that will be performance-based financing. So the other national federations can actually be motivated to bring on more women in their boards, looking at the funding for their programs. The other recommendation that I came up with is, as national Olympic committees, we should not be afraid to actually use force on our national federations. That is to say, penalize them if they are not going. Because if you have a policy that says each national federation should have at least 30% women in their executive board, for those that do not do that, find ways to penalize them. If it means that after the elections, you give them a sanction to go back and actually co-opt a woman, do that. If it means suspending them for some reason to make sure that you motivate them or push them to go back and co-opt 2-3 women, then do that. Because I think usually the National Olympic Committees, or at least from what I learned as I was talking to the different National Olympic Committees, we don't necessarily use that force factor to push our national federations. The other thing that I came up with, and I think it was mentioned somewhat yesterday, was to have mentorship programs. So for the women who have been in leadership and for the male who have been in leadership, to be paired with younger women and be their mentors so that they push them into this journey. And then the last recommendation that I came up with is to celebrate women, celebrate the success. So people like Madame Maklohang, if she were to stand here and tell you her story about leadership, about where she's at, you will see that she's one of the few women who actually have managed to be in different leadership in different structures of sport. So such women should be celebrated. Her story should be published so that others can actually be motivated to learn from. So those were some of the recommendations that I came up with, and even though I just listed them quickly, I hope that you can learn from a few of them. And during coffee and during lunch, we can talk some more about how our national Olympic committees or our other organizations can actually benefit from these recommendations. We can discuss those some more. Thank you.
Obrigado, disse Marato. Vamos ter também uma pequena intervenção da nossa representante do Eswatini. Por favor. Eswatini.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Well, I'm going to take a few minutes. Yesterday, it's just a recap somehow. Yesterday, I just mentioned our achievements as Eswatini. And Madam John felt that I left some key points that I was supposed to share. That's why I'm here. I think 5 minutes will be enough. Some graphs and tables instead of using some essays. The reason being, we as Africans, including myself, we don't like reading some essays. That's why we've used some tables and some graphs. Okay. I'm not going to repeat the achievements that I mentioned yesterday. I'll just go through our survey. Our surveys, we conducted a number of surveys. And the results of those surveys that we conducted last year. Thank you very much. It's fine. Thank you. Slide 2. Okay, I won't go back to our achievements that we've achieved because I talked about them yesterday. Let's continue to slide 3. Okay, this is the graph. It shows the positions held by women in the executive boards. You can see that down there, women are mainly voted as members or secretary generals. Only 2 women as presidents in judo and netball only. This is the position in our national federations. The next one. Okay, here the ratio of women against men in the board is only 34%. On Equestrial has 100% in the board. Next one, yes. This is the interesting statistic that we have. Our participation of athletes. These are the figures. You can see that males over 13,000, females just about half of that figure. Officials in the national federations, women's is only 101, which is below even half of the males. Coaches, medical, administrators, and volunteers. This is the shape. Let's go to the next one. Athletes per age brackets. This is another survey that we conducted, whereby we were looking at the figures, the survey in terms of age. Below 15, you can see how many females are there. 15 to 18, at least. Then above 18, the number is going down. You can see the percentage is 39, at least 50% in age between 15 and 18. Then from 18 upwards, then it's going down to 25%. Okay, this is another one. This is our sporting. Okay, yes. Go to the next one. Go to the next one. Participation of each level. Okay, down there you can see our clubs, national, region, international, Commonwealth. These are the games where we've participated from clubs level, national, regional, international, Commonwealth, up to Olympic Games. You can see the color, blue, the participation of females. At least in clubs, nationals is better, regions, regionals, international, but in the under international games like Commonwealth and Olympics, you can see the figures that the percentage is very, very low. The next one. Okay, this is another one. This is another survey that we conducted, whereby we're using some questionnaire to see. You can see the figures, how many commissions chair come from each category. Only 28% female there. The next one, what's the total number of commission members in your national per category? That is 33%. Then going down there, you can see how in the gender we affected Women Commission Gender Equity. That is 39%. Where do you have a gender equity commission in your national federations? There's a lot which we need to be done. These graphs or tables, it will help us. It is going to help us because we are going to see, because in this new quadrennium, we are going to compare these two tables, whether we are going up or going down. Move to the next one. This is just general statistics, where we're using some questionnaire as well here, where you see the blue color, it's yes. Where you see the pinkish color, it's no. And there's some percentages there. You can see those were the type of questionnaire that we were using to get the data that we needed to see how far are we with the gender equity. I won't mention one by one. You can see them. You can get a copy if you need it. Let's go. Yes. Go once back. Okay, thank you. Just once.
Sorry, Mr. Lavina, I just wanted to make an observation. The slide before this one.
Okay.
Do you have clear terms? No, not that one. Is your National Federation supporting gender equity initiatives? If you look at the percentage of the yes, it's very high. I'm just looking at that one. But if you look at the one before, it says, do you have a budget that is set aside to address gender equity? And I think the percentage is at 30. And if you're carrying out gender equality or gender equity initiatives, and you don't have a budget set aside for those initiatives, and then you come and say yes to the initiatives, where are you getting the money? That's the question. But anyway, what I was just trying to highlight is that sometimes in the surveys, we get information that sometimes doesn't tie in with the results. And I think we have to be very careful of that. Thank you.
For noting that, we are going to look at it. It's true that when we were conducting this survey, some of the things we didn't need some money just to do it. Well, it's true that as you can see the table, that only 30% where money is set aside to address these issues. Let's go. Thanks very much. Let's go over to the next slide. Current challenges and barriers. You can see that there is a lot that needs to be done to promote women's sports. There are many challenges and barriers that we have in Eswatini. Culture, mentality, mindset, stereotype, limited resources, funding for women programs. Most women cannot afford the required expensive sporting equipment. Women are not consistently. Others fall along the journey. Most of them, they fall along the journey. Women seem less interested in joining sports, it's true. Women harassment and humiliation. Most NFS not intentionally on recruiting women into sport. Women administrators fail to win elections, and as most of them, most men get voted in. Power strictly lobbying against women in executive normally takes place. Women voices not heard or considered. No proper policies advocating for gender equity. I'm happy that yesterday we learned a lot that we have to do something on policies. few women in competitions, most slot taken up by men. Few women stand up for elections, it's true. Let's go to the next one. Some women fear appearing masculine. Parents still choose sport for their kids or hold them, not release them to sports. Behavior changes, situation, fall, pregnancy, all those problems, home chaos, shortage of alcohol, perception about short is true. Then thanks very much. Last slide. Okay, this few one also, there are many challenges. Okay, here we have the suggestion on promoting. These are the suggestions that we have that we are going to try and work on them. Women capacitation. That's why this year, as I illustrated in yesterday, in the slot 2, that we had 2 administrative admin sports courses, sports admin courses. We had 2 last year, whereby we are trying to capacitate the women in all areas to participate in sports, including coaching, official administrators, and so volunteers and so on. Okay. Yes, we are also encouraging the media to promote the women's sports, as they've already said, more funding allocated to women. We are trying to do something about it also. Going down, it's just a repetition, most of them. Go to the next one. Okay, that's the last few suggestions on promoting gender equity, this networking and lobbying, get more volunteers, mind changes in parents and in all areas, sensitizations in school. We are trying to work more on that, have policies and strategies in place, motivational speeches from successful women in sports. I think that's the last one. Thank you very much.
Muito obrigado, caro colega representante do Eswatini. Dando continuidade aos nossos trabalhos, vou convidar a senhora Ana Idalete Gurgel para, em nome da Comissão do Género do Comitê Olímpico Angolano, fazer a apresentação. Doutora Ana Idalete, tem a palavra, por favor.
Bom dia. Eu, antes de mais, quero agradecer esta grande oportunidade. Na realidade, quem deveria estar aqui é a nossa vice-presidente do Comitê Olímpico, a nossa querida Marcelina Chiala, que neste momento não pode estar aqui conosco por razões alheias à sua própria vontade. Quero, antes de mais, manifestar aquilo que nós temos em Angola na realidade. Nós temos uma Angola em que o Ministério dos Desportos é um dos nossos grandes, ou melhor, a mão firme sobre o desporto do nosso país. E temos um Comitê Olímpico que é o nosso patrono, que é o pai das nossas maiores ações. Então, também vai o nosso agradecimento para estas entidades. Nós temos, então... Ok. Obrigada. Eu vou passar diretamente à apresentação, porque já me foram avisados os minutinhos que realmente temos. Boa. Estamos com problemas. Que nós estamos a celebrar a presença de todos vós aqui. A África veio visitar Angola em um momento excelente. Nós estamos a celebrar também a nossa independência. Então, o que muitas das vezes nós fazemos é ter convosco para que sejamos ensinados a andar, a trilhar este caminho. Hoje a África veio à nossa casa. Nós estamos muito felizes também por este momento. Muito obrigada, Madame Cher, Madame Coordenadora, Secretária-Geral e toda a África que está aqui conosco. Obrigada. Ok. Nós vamos partir e começar pelas bases legais que regem o nosso país, que regem a nível do desporto, que nós temos o decreto presidencial número 195/21, que na verdade é o apoio à promoção da igualdade do género em Angola, que é orientada por várias diretrizes legais. Este conjunto de diretrizes é na realidade o que nós temos para que haja então o elemento principal, que é o financiamento, o apoio para o prosseguir das nossas ações. Nós temos aqui o relatório da igualdade do género. A Comissão de Igualdade do Género do Comitê Olímpico, em colaboração com a MUD, em colaboração com a Academia Olímpica, em colaboração com a ISA Região 5, elaborou este relatório que nós vamos então aqui apreciar. Este relatório, na sua verdade, ele baseia-se nas orientações e diretrizes da igualdade do género. O nosso plano de ação baseia-se em 5 pilares: a representação, liderança; desporto, participação; liderança; desporto seguro e financiamento. Obstáculos temos, sim, temos. Talvez nós, por sermos os últimos, os mesmos obstáculos também encontramos na nossa região e, quiçá, em outros patamares. Nós vamos passar para os obstáculos que, apesar de termos um aumento gradual, nós continuamos com os obstáculos que, começando pela participação no desporto, as mulheres continuam menos representadas. Estamos subrepresentadas, sim, nos órgãos de decisão, principalmente nos órgãos de decisão. É fundamental, sim senhora, que a gente introduza os 30% nas cotas do género de representação, para que tenhamos mais mulheres nos órgãos decisivos. Temos barreiras, sim senhora. Uma das principais barreiras é que menos mulheres se candidatam. É importante frisar isso. Menos mulheres se candidatam também. E isso faz com que haja ruptura na rotação de mulheres e homens dentro dessa gestão. Temos, sim senhor, aspectos negativos também, em termos de cultura organizacional e falta de interação. Esta falta de interação é sobre o que eu já me referi há pouco. Se não existirem mais mulheres a candidatarem-se, não haverá interação. Teremos, sim senhora, a ruptura. Passamos aqui para os obstáculos à igualdade no género. Ok. Temos aqui este gráfico que representa as mulheres nas organizações. Nós, no Comitê Olímpico e na Comissão Executiva, nós temos 6 mulheres e temos 10 homens. Nós, no COA, como membros, nós temos 33 mulheres e 76 homens. Nós temos nas federações 3 mulheres presidentes e 29 homens presidentes. É realmente um obstáculo à igualdade do género. Precisamos, sim, senhora, fazer a mudança. Participação e desporto. Nós, aqui neste quadro, podemos reparar que em 2012 nós tivemos 88% de mulheres nos Jogos Olímpicos e em 2024 nós tivemos 68%. Houve um decréscimo, sim, senhora. E de reparar que em 2012 nós tivemos só 4 homens, pelo número que nós temos aqui na estatística. Ok. Também aqui em participação, dando continuidade, nós temos a participação das mulheres no desporto. Em Angola é uma realidade indiscutível e também temos a presença da modalidade handebol, que detém os 15 títulos africanos. Entre handebol temos também os 3 títulos de basquetebol, judo 2 títulos, natação 1 título, tudo o que perfaz 21 títulos continentais. Angola também, em outras modalidades, quer a nível nacional, quer a nível internacional, ronda as 60 medalhas também dentro do desporto. Isto com referência às mulheres. Neste ponto, ainda com referência às mulheres. Desenvolvimento de treinadoras. Este é um dos grandes nossos problemas. Ok? Há uma disparidade imensa mesmo no número de treinadoras e árbitras no desporto angolano. É uma barreira, sim, senhora, consideramos barreiras. As mulheres têm menos probabilidades, mas há uma razão para isso. Esta barreira tem muito a ver com os incentivos para a mulher, principalmente a nível remuneratório. As barreiras culturais, estereotipos de género, associado à falta de oportunidades, que é gritante também, a falta de oportunidades. Passamos ainda para o desenvolvimento de treinadoras e árbitras. As nossas estratégias: apoio à informação nacional e internacional para treinadoras, cursos de ciências aplicadas ao desporto, transição de carreira, apoio em formação, curso de mestrado MEMO, apoio em cursos de dirigentes desportivos. São estas as estratégias, algumas das estratégias que nós temos para treinadoras e árbitras. Governança, liderança, principais ações desenvolvidas. O COA, como disse no início, que é o nosso patrono, é praticamente o pai das associações e das federações, que todos os programas que tiverem cabeça, tronco e membro, o COA sempre os apoia. Temos aqui o curso MEMOS, workshops, gestão administrativa pela Academia Olímpica. Temos também pela AMUD, Associação da Mulher e o Desporto, formações, entrega de material desportivo, palestras. Vou passar ao quadro seguinte. Ainda no mesmo tema sobre a governança e liderança, principais ações desenvolvidas, também o COA, é preciso reconhecer que também o COA, na sua ação de patrono, apoia a Presidente da UISA na região 5 para formações da TAFISA Woman Leader Program, empoderamento da jovem mulher FLOT, o apoio do Comitê Olímpico em todas essas estratégias organizadas que vêm quer da União Africana, quer dos comitês olímpicos, é presente nestes painéis. Estamos aqui também com a governança e liderança, já no terceiro ponto, para as principais ações. Fórum de Igualdade do Género, participações, reuniões da AUS, que ultimamente têm sido feitas pela Associação Mulher e Desporto, as reuniões da UISA, os seminários e workshops do COA. Ainda em governança e liderança, principais ações: formação e administração desportiva em parceria com a Academia Olímpica, de forma a capacitar novas gestoras desportivas. Apoio à formação internacional com o curso de MEMES, Gestão e Administração Desportiva, Gala Prémio à Mulher e o Desporto. Falta de aplicação da política de cotas estabelecidas pelo MEMES de 30%. Isto é um ponto que queremos aqui também deixar bem claro, que esta falta de política de cotas nós sentimos porque existem para os 30% dos lugares executivos. No entanto, não existe cotas na sua generalidade para o género. Nós identificamos. Nossas estratégias: apoiar o desenvolvimento de oportunidades de exercício de atividade de treinador e árbitro para as mulheres a todos os níveis. Nós, conforme o resto da região, o resto da África, percebemos que sem as treinadoras nós não poderemos progredir. Será uma falha muito crassa para o desenvolvimento do desporto. Preparar a transição de carreira desportiva é um processo crucial e inevitável. Garantir a igualdade de oportunidades para atletas do sexo feminino, bem como processos de recrutamentos transparentes. Gizar medidas específicas tais como debates públicos, formação, programas de tutoria e políticas proativas que incentivem as mulheres jovens a permanecer no desporto. Ainda em nossas estratégias, estabelecer mecanismos para incentivar todas as raparigas e mulheres a praticarem desporto. Promover o equilíbrio entre trabalho, estudo, vida familiar e desporto. Garantir o acesso equitativo aos recursos. Estimular a prática desportiva como uma ferramenta para discussões do género, fortalecendo meninas e mulheres. Capacitar as mulheres para aumentar a sua cota a todos os níveis no domínio do desporto. Nós aqui acreditamos que não basta empoderar a mulher, precisamos de capacitar a mulher acima de tudo. A mulher precisa de estar capacitada para depois passar ao seu empoderamento. Prevenir e combater o assédio no desporto, bem como incentivar a denúncia. Em resumo, é fundamental continuar a promover a igualdade de oportunidades e garantir que as medidas para aumentar a representatividade das mulheres sejam efetivamente implementadas e supervisionadas. Eu não termino aqui, está aqui um muito obrigada, mas não termino. O presidente Godinho está a olhar para mim, é uma coisa rápida. Nós temos em anexos, como dizia no início, nós temos anexos porque nós estamos a celebrar. A vossa vinda aqui, acreditem, é mesmo um prazer. Ok? Tê-las aqui é um prazer, porque ir ter convosco nem sempre conseguimos. Já passam anos e anos que muitas de nós já tivemos convosco em outras latitudes, mas tê-las aqui é extremamente importante. Então nós vamos fazer alguma demonstração com evidências daquilo que nós já apresentamos. Não basta dizer nós fazemos, nós temos, nós queremos, nós precisamos demonstrar as evidências. E como tal, para não ser maçador, temos aqui em anexos. Nós temos o que nos deixou bastante felizes também, que é o projeto social Handball como forma de inclusão social de criança e adolescente, pela mestre que terminou o MEMO e que nesta 9ª edição ganhou o prémio Alberto Madelli. Este prémio, acredito que seja a primeira africana a ter este prémio. Sei que há um africano com este prémio, então nós também estamos todos de parabéns. A África está de parabéns. Eu vou pedir uma salva de palmas para a nossa Marcelina, que não está aqui e que é merecida. Depois temos aqui, eu deveria ter uma vara para mencionar aqui uma a uma, são as atividades da MUD. Não estou a conseguir. Não estou a conseguir mexer no laser. Está aí um ponto que eu não estou, tentei e não consegui. Pronto. Mas pronto, são as atividades da mulher. Ok, está bom. Ok, está aqui? Conseguimos, ok. As nossas visitas, o nosso novo ministro do Desporto sempre presente, a nossa presidente da MUD, aqui a nossa menina trouxe para Angola no festival de MMA, trouxe a medalha de ouro para Angola. Nós temos aqui esta menina que começou a brincar na areia e hoje faz parte de um clube importante de handball. Temos aqui o exemplo e outros exemplos. Temos aqui as senhoras que acabaram de dançar, são na realidade as fazedoras do desporto nas províncias. A maioria destas senhoras são presidentes das associações de futebol, representantes nas províncias do país. São estas nossas irmãs, as delegadas, as fazedoras de desporto nas restantes províncias. Porque o desporto não é feito só na capital, é feito no país todo. Nós temos aqui também todos estes momentos referentes à mulher e o desporto. Eu vou prosseguir, ainda no mesmo tema, com a nossa Presidente Justina, com todos estes momentos. Eu vou abreviar para que a gente consiga cumprir o timing. Eu deixei esta página de propósito porque nós costumamos ter este senhor aqui como um pau para toda a obra. E ele está aqui presente, eu não poderia deixar de o mencionar aqui. Eu quero também mencionar o nosso presidente. Obrigada. Eu quero lembrar-me que na nossa reunião da comissão, quando pusemos vários nomes, todo mundo gritou, Godinho, está aqui ele. Nós temos aqui o presidente, o nosso representante da Academia Olímpica para a África também, importa frisar. Temos aqui o presidente Godinho. Eu com o presidente Gustavo, é Gigi, pronto. O presidente Gustavo é daqueles homens que dentro do Comitê Olímpico, eu vou contar uma breve história, uma coisa pequenina. Estávamos 5 mulheres a conversar, e tu, como é que foste parar o Comitê Olímpico? Desafio do Gustavo. E tu, como é que foste parar o Comitê Olímpico? Desafio do Gustavo. E tu? Não, o Gustavo também desafiou. Chegamos à conclusão que o Gustavo desafiou-nos a todas para fazer, a uma boa parte de nós. Bem, eu já andei aqui a mexer a mais. Na parte do presidente, vou ser despedida. Então, o Gustavo desafiou-nos, uma boa parte dos que estamos dentro do Comitê Olímpico, fomos levados pelo Gustavo. Dentro do Comitê Olímpico nasceu a Associação Mulher e o Desporto, nasceu a Comissão Mulher e o Desporto. Temos uma mulher vice-presidente e ele tem sido o homem que desafia e adverte, inclusive, que todas as federações devem ter as mulheres presentes no seu patamar. Devo também... Sim, isso não falha, isso é o rebuçado presidente. Eu tenho aqui o Angola saúda o dia 23 de junho, o Dia Olímpico. Este é um momento especial em que a Academia Olímpica, que não fica só pela formação, levou a família da Academia Olímpica a plantar nos mangais, para que o ambiente seja mais salutar. Não só ensinar a plataforma, mas fazer. Nós temos aqui a presidente, a primeira mulher presidente da Academia Olímpica em Angola e da primeira Academia Olímpica também de Angola. A doutora Sara está aqui conosco, também faz parte da nossa comissão de preparação do fórum. Vou prosseguir. Nós temos aqui o Presidente da República de Angola a dar o checkmate contra a violência no género. Isto foi uma atividade dos 16 dias da luta contra a violência. Foi de 25 de novembro a 10 de dezembro, como todos sabeis, é o período da VBG, que é violência baseada no género. É mundial esta ação e o Presidente da República honrou a dar o checkmate contra a violência. Estas crianças da roupa laranja, que é a cor da violência, da luta contra a violência, são crianças do lar Cusola, a quem se ensinou de pequena infância que é preciso ter cuidado com pequenos gestos que nos levam a perceber que há ali um predador, que há ali uma violência contra os jovens e contra as crianças. Nós aqui temos também o Comitê Olímpico foi chamado aqui para influenciar em outras mulheres. Aqui são 2.000 mulheres polícias da Rempa, nas festividades da Interpol, fomos à Benguela palestrar naquilo que nós acreditamos, o olimpismo, a força do desporto. Pedir a estas mulheres que dentro de sua casa os seus filhos pratiquem desporto, porque o desporto é educação, é progresso, é inteligência e é felicidade e é saúde. Esta jovem é a jovem Flotte, que tem 2 mentoras europeias, que dentro dos programas Flotte é Jovem Líderes do Futuro, e que hoje em dia formou mais de 40 e tal mulheres de 2000 nesta Olimpíada. Presidente Godinho, estou quase. Aqui aquela jovem formou estas 40 jovens e abriu, num influenciar que nós tivemos com o apoio do Comitê Olímpico, esta jovem que falamos há pouco, formou todas estas pessoas, depois de receber formação nossa, formou todas estas pessoas e abriu uma escola que se chama Brilho Sapiens. O resultado do influenciar. Aqui nós temos uma das zonas com mais dificuldades de Angola, de Luanda, que é o Bita Santo Antônio. Com algumas dificuldades como água, luz, e é bastante longe. E estes jovens começaram assim e terminaram assim. Aqui nós hoje temos gente influenciada que a sua vida produtiva tem outro patamar. Aqui ainda é na recepção dos seus diplomas. Também apoio do Comitê Olímpico. Quero frisar aqui, o diretor Domingos Torres foi das pessoas que esteve pelo Comitê Olímpico a apoiar este projeto, que foi o último 2023, este foi 2022. Aqui é uma homenagem a todas as senhoras que estão aqui presentes, na sua maioria. Nós estivemos a vê-las desde ontem. Estamos o principal comitê, a comissão criada para darmos continuidade à ausência da nossa Celina. Eu quero frisar aqui uma mulher que é a presidente da mesa da AMUD, um braço muito forte no desporto. Eu costumo dizer que a professora Canina, a presidente Canina, normalmente é a primeira a chegar e a última a sair. Eu tinha aqui uma fotografia que eu acho que está depois, que até em campo, ela é a primeira a chegar no campo e é a última a sair. o campo vazio e ela lá a ser entrevistada. Eu creio que está mais adiante. Nós temos a ministra anterior, a ministra ministra Paula, que também é um exemplo de mulher que começou no desporto e chegou onde chegou e hoje continua como ministra da promoção da mulher. Temos a presidente da academia, temos a vice-presidente do handball, a nossa Nair, que também faz parte da comissão. Estamos todas nessa comissão. Cada uma delas tem o seu full job, o seu trabalho real, mas a paixão pelo desporto faz com que estejam presentes em todos os momentos que sejam chamadas. Então, importa frisar aqui a presença destas mulheres. Não seria honesto terminar sem apresentá-las. Aqui a nossa última ministra, que também faz parte de todas estas mulheres, que são as 50 mulheres influentes da África. Eu gostaria muito mesmo que nós dessemos uma salva de palmas para todas estas mulheres, as 50 mulheres influentes da África. Nós temos aqui a nossa Elisa, que recebeu todos vocês, a nossa Elisa, que teve esse cuidado, correu para o aeroporto para receber-nos a todos, e a nossa Elisa é a vice-presidente de um dos maiores clubes daqui de Angola. Nós temos aqui a atual vice-presidente do handball, que também foi a nossa última secretária de Estado. E temos aqui a Fernanda, a Lili, a Bernarda, a vice-presidente de esgrima, enfim, é mesmo um momento para celebrar. Não podia deixar de ter esses dois sorrisos, que é o da Madalena e da Bernarda. A Bernarda, eu considero a Bernarda um pau para toda a obra também dentro da Associação Mulher e o Desporto. Então, fica aqui. Agora sim terminamos. Muito obrigada. Desculpa, Presidente Godinho.
Obrigado, ilustre colega. Trabalhos. Antes de passar ao próximo painel, queria apenas juntar um pequeno detalhe. Vocês tiveram no início a estatística da participação de Angola nos Jogos Olímpicos Paris 2024. E eu queria referenciar o seguinte: eu tive o prazer de ter sido o chefe de missão e acho que foi uma missão muito fácil, porque em 25 atletas, 16 eram mulheres. E a minha chefe adjunta de missão era uma mulher, a doutora Inês. Por isso, no meio de tantas mulheres, fui um chefe de missão muito feliz. Parabéns às mulheres. Passando então para o próximo tema, antes do coffee break, convido então o senhor Fako Masufa. Vai falar um pouco sobre o reforço do papel das comissões na promoção dos valores olímpicos, o jogo limpo, a sustentabilidade do desporto, etc. Senhor Fako Masufa.
Could we kindly stand on our feet while we wait for the presentation to be ready? Okay, I am just going to be a bit troublesome but let us first energize a bit. You know, we feasted yesterday, we ate a lot, so let us shake it up. Okay. All right. No. All right. So everybody, can we jog? Left, right, jog. Left, right. Let's clap and sit. We're almost asleep. All right. In the race of life, the victory lies not in the medals that we win, but in the values that we uphold. Colleagues, allow me to take on the journey with you to ignite the change and embrace the Olympic values of excellence, friendship, and respect. To inspire this world that we live in towards a future of equality, resilience, and unity. I am Fakuma Sopa, as the MC has just said, and it is indeed a privilege for me to stand before you here to present on the strengthening of the Gender Equality Commission by promoting Olympic values. So today we actually gather here not just to speak about equality, but to reaffirm our commitment to empowering all the people, especially women, to rise, to lead, and to transform our world. Having said all this, allow me to take you into a different direction altogether. We have had many colleagues coming before you here making presentations on how we are going to empower women, what we have been doing, our strategies, how to get funding and all. But I come with a different element. And the new element that we are talking about is just to remind you that we are an Olympic family, and our culture and our motto is Olympism. Let us all remember what Olympism is. Olympism is a philosophy of life that we all chose, exalting and combining in the balance of the whole qualities of the body, the will, and the mind. Blending sports with culture and education. Olympism seeks to create a way of life based on the joy of effort, educational value of a good example, social responsibility, and respect for the universal fundamentals of, and ethical principles. Now, that was a lot of English and text. We are basically saying that the Olympic movement, or the Olympic philosophy that we all subscribe to, is all about developing young people to become beneficial, productive people of the society. We do not just want to have athletes that are strong, but without anything in mind. We have to combine the strength, we have to be healthy, but we also have to have the passion to push through and persevere where things are difficult. But most importantly, we have to enhance the cognitive side of every human being. That way we will have a complete or a holistically built individual. So in a nutshell, Olympism seeks to build people healthy physically, have the passion and perseverance to push through, and most importantly, have the cognitive skills trained. Before we go any further, I would love to remind this House that for any congregation to be successful in its mandate, there are principles that put us together, that we share. For me to be in front of you, there is a time schedule that after a presentation by Angola, I will be here. That is a principle that we all agree on. So according to the definition that I have here, a principle is a fundamental truth or proposition that serves as the foundation for a system of beliefs or behavior or for a chain of reasoning. This is just an introduction to what we are about to go to. Now, here we are today as different national Olympic committees and we are here because we had agreed that we will join the Olympic movement by sending athletes through to the Olympic Games. We agreed to share a set of values by so doing. And those values, according to the Olympic Charter, they are called fundamental principles. Those now establish a foundation for all the activities that we do. The tone for the role of Olympic values in the promotion of equity and inclusivity. That is why ANOCA has made an invitation for Olympism to be part of this. Because Olympism is the foundation of every activity that we do within our NOCs. And that is the principle we all share. Now, the fundamental principle of Olympism is where now I want every one of us to understand and pay attention to. Olympism seeks to create a way of life based on the joy of effort, the educational value of good example, and respect for universal, fundamental, and ethical principles. That is the fundamental principle that Olympism seeks to achieve and base itself on. The decisions that are made and everything that puts us together is based on this principle. There is also a goal that we have been provided by Olympism, or the father of the modern Olympics, Pierre de Coubertin. The goal of Olympism is to place sport at the service of harmonious development of man, with a view to encourage the establishment of peaceful society concerned with preservation of human dignity. We're basically saying here is, the Olympic family, through its establishment, seeks to ensure that we live in peace as societies, and we try as much as possible to preserve human dignity. If you remember, last year around October, the IOC board suspended Russia because of the conflict that was going between them and Ukraine. And the reason for IOC to suspend Russia was basically because it was preserving human dignity. It was trying to put sport that is being participated on by Ukraine and Russia in a peaceful and harmonious area. So if we start understanding the fundamental principles of Olympism, now we will understand the decisions that are being made by the NOCs, the IOC, and our confederations at large. Remember, we said the goal of Olympism is to put sport at the harmonious place for everybody else. The second thing was to preserve human dignity. It's been so long that the Arabic people, were not allowed to participate in sports covering their bodies. You can remember the story of football in 2013 when they wanted to amend their laws to accommodate the people with hijabs. We saw in Paris people participating in hijabs, as we see on the picture. The whole idea here is to understand that the IOC, Olympism, is about preservation of human dignity. And our dignity is our culture. Our culture is our norms. And if we are the Olympic family, we have to preserve our culture. We have to be cognizant of the decisions that we make, not to segregate, as we are here preaching about equality. Now, we're leaving the principles behind. We're coming to the core business for the day. The core business for the day is the values that we all uphold. Remember, when I started the presentation, I highlighted that the actual race in life, the true victory that lies within the triumph of everybody else, is not the medals, but the values that we uphold. And in Olympism, we have values that we uphold. And these values are standards or principles that enable us to make judgment on what is important in life. They are universally recognized as the driving force in the ethical decision making. And one would ask, what are these core values that we are talking about? For sake of time, we are going to focus mainly on the 3 Olympic values. We have one Olympic value, which is friendship. The second one is excellence, and the third one is respect. These are the core founding principles and values that the IOC, the NOCs, the confederations base themselves on when making decisions, resource allocation, etc. Now, it is very difficult to define what respect is, but it is also very difficult to define what disrespect is. In our context of Olympism, respect includes respect for oneself, your body, and other people, for the rules and regulations, for the sport, and of course, the environment. Let me remind you of one story that happened before we are where we are today. We all remember that we had ancient Olympics, and then we have modern Olympics. During the time of ancient Olympics, there was a lady, as we see there in the text, there was a lady called Calipeteria. She went to an arena, whereas women were not allowed to participate in sports. She disguised as a man and dressed like a man and went into the arena to watch her son play. When her son won with victory and happiness, she ran to hug the son. Unfortunately, the clothes fell off, and she was discovered that she's a woman, and she was not allowed in the arena. Instead of being punished, as King Hela would do, normally if women went to watch Olympics in the arena, they would be punished. Instead of being punished, that is when the fight for equality began. I hope we all remember the story. She was not punished. Instead, she was embraced and the entire family for being able to bring the victory men from that family. We were appreciating the presence and role of women in the society. That was the beginning, back in the ancient Olympics. Now, excellence is our second value. Excellence means doing the best we can on the field of play and in our professional life. The important thing is not to win, but to take part and make progress and enjoy the healthy combination of the body, will, and mind. Remember, excellence is not necessarily about the medal. It's about doing the best we can do. That is why even in the decision making of who goes to Olympic Games, some people go as honorary invitations, some go for, because we appreciate the best that they did. That is how we make decisions. And some of us don't understand these decisions because they were not aware of what we really mean by excellence. We cannot all be number one, number two, number three. And as we look at the young fellas here, from number one is so happy, number two, number three, because they did all they could. And that is what we call excellence. The great Aristotle says, excellence is an art won by training and habituation. We do not act rightly because we have virtue or we are excellent, but we rather have those because we have acted rightly. We are repeatedly doing it, and then excellence is an act of habit. What he's saying here is that we cannot be excellent because we just woke up to be excellent. We worked very hard for so many times. We did it over and over again. Those who are technical in sports, they will remember what tenacity is. Doing something over and over again until you are excellent in it. That is what we talk about in this quote from Aristotle. Now, the third Olympic value is friendship. Please remember, it's excellence, friendship, and respect. Now, the third one is friendship. Friendship in Olympic context refers to forming of bonds across nations and cultures using sport as a unifying force. All people from the Olympic academies will remember we always use sport as a tool, sport as a tool. So we use sport as a tool to form bonds across nations and mingle as cultures to try and bring everybody else into one uniform being. And that is what we did today. Through Anoka, we are one in this house with different culture and everything. And as you look at the picture, your height, your color doesn't really matter. Sports unites us. And what is important here is, as you unite people, we may not necessarily be of the same view on different things that we talk about. But what brings us together is respecting each other, is being friends and coming together for a common cause. And what we do in Olympics is to play sports. Let me remind you where this whole thing of friendship came in. Remember that Pierre Coubertin's, one of his reasons to have established the modern Olympics was that it came just after the Second World War. And he was concerned that countries were competing by distraction. And as a young man, he sat down, like we did, and he said, let us come up with a new concept where countries can compete and show who is the strongest, who is the best, but not distracting, but not killing. And now we came with sports. And sport was a solution. Today we have this forum that brings us together with different strategies, with different opinion, to form the friendship that will make us be successful and host the Olympic Games, that will make sport live in a harmonious place of everybody else's development in our region. Now, having said all that, there are symbols and concepts that are found in the Olympic movement. And these concepts and symbols are meaningful. I just want to ask a simple question. How many of us knew what the Olympic rings meant in different colors? Some of us were 5 years in the Olympic movement already, only to realize the black didn't mean Africa, the green didn't mean Europe, or it simply means that the unification of all the continents, as all these colors represent at least one color in each and every national flag. There is an Olympic flame. An Olympic flame is this forum. Anoka Zone 6 decided to take the flame to Angola and say to the people, yes, we are shedding the light. The symbol is the manifestation of positive values, what we are going to do, what we have to do, what we should be doing. And it is associated with the symbolism of fire. That makes the link between the old ways of doing things and the modern way of doing things. So some of us in here are doing things, of course, in an ancient way, some are advanced. Now Anoka is saying, let's bring it together. Let's all go in the modern world. That is what the flame is about. And that is how the decisions and the programming is taken, based on these symbols. There is what we call an Olympic creed. The Olympic creed is written by Pierre, the father of modern Olympics. And he states that the most important thing in Olympic Games is not to win, but to take part. Just as the most important thing in life is not the triumph, but the struggle. The essential thing is not to have conquered, but to have fought well. We came here, some of us, South Africa was like, I've got money. Eswatini comes, is like, we didn't have money, you know, we have problems. And what Pierre is saying is, no problem. What is important, Eswatini, is that you have fought well. And now we are here united in one place to make you better. And that is the appreciation, and that is the whole creed of the Olympic movement. Now, as we move on, did we know that neuroscience is an Olympic concept? If you remember, for those who got a chance to read through the ancient Olympics, we had so many manifestations from pharmacy to neuroscience. And there is something that I learned from a colleague of mine while I was in Olympia about brain science. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just tell you, there are some amazing ideals. Excuse the font because I wrote this a long time ago when I was there are some amazing ideals found in Olympism. But the most significant ideal that I would like to share with us today is joy found in effort. This ideal forms part of the Olympic educational themes, joy of effort, as popularly known for those who come from different academies and in different countries. There is an African proverb for those who come down south, Botswana, Lesotho, South Africa, that says, "Motho o phela ka mofufutso wa phatla hae," which translates into happiness or benefits come from sweating and working hard. The latter is expressed in Greek as agony, meaning life is agony. All the expressions are found in different countries as philosophical expressions that subscribe to Olympism. All we are saying is, remember the explanation of what Olympism is. Olympism is a philosophy of life, exalting and combining the body, will, and mind concept, but bearing in mind the culture of the people. That is why now my language, my culture fits in Olympism, because we say joy of effort in my culture is moto opela ka mofufutso wa phatlaha, whereas in Greek life is hard, is joy, agony. Agony means life is hard. Life should be a struggle, and for you to be happy, for you to have genuine happiness, you have to struggle. Now this is where safeguarding comes in. Now this is where anti-doping and doping comes in. If we do not teach the athletes that before you get the benefit of being number one on the podium, you have to go through the struggle. You have to train. You have to work hard. Because in Olympism, you first start with the struggle. Because without no gain, there is no pain. Without no pain, there is no gain. We must sweat and we must struggle. Then and only then can we have genuine happiness. People who doped cannot even enjoy the medal. People who cheat cannot even enjoy the medal. So the most important part of this presentation is the next 2, 3, 4 minutes. The Olympic motto. The Olympic motto, he says, the Olympic motto now reads in Latin as faster, higher, stronger. And remember, 3 years ago, we didn't have together. Only in the presence of Madam Matloha, President Bach, we included together officially as the statement. There is an argument that back in 1947, there was a friend of Pierre Coubertin who introduced the element of together, but it was difficult as a philosophy to include it. And the togetherness that we're talking about is the inclusion of women, is the inclusion of Paralympics, is the inclusion of marginalized groups that we have. It expresses the aspirations of the Olympic movement, not only in its athletic and technical sense, but also as a form of moral and educational perspectives. And that is where now we had establishment of memos, scholarships, etc. Because we are no longer saying, if you are strong as Germany and Russia with all the medals, you stick to yourself. Now we have to uplift everybody else and take it together as we grow. That is why even the small picture that side reflects that. Now, for us to be able to have what we have today, for us as Anoka, for us as Africa, to be able to change the narration, we have to use education. As the great Nelson Mandela says, education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. And the education we are talking about is the forum, is the scholarship, is the memos, is the women leadership program, is the forum. That is what we are using. We are using education as a tool. And remember, education forms part of the definition of Olympism. And remember, we said we do not only focus on building athletes physically. Yeah, well and good. Usain Bolt, you win, you win, you win. But now important also to put education in your mind. Put education in your mind. Because that is the only way we can change the world. But the most other important thing is the yellow highlight there. Olympic idea cannot be understood without understanding its educational mission. No one can understand gender equality if you don't understand that we have to start first by educating. Before you go, before you move, you have to train. So the Olympic idea cannot be understood without an understanding of its educational mission. That is why we are using education as the tool to change the world. Now, this is the most interesting part to me, and this is the solution to the world. Education without morals is like a ship without a compass, merely wandering nowhere. That is how I got a flight ticket here. Anoka now said, we have trained how many women? 60%. We have trained so many. But now, Martin Luther King, the great, says, yes, you taught all these people. You spent all the money. Matato is a genius. Mimos, well done. But that education without morals is like a ship wandering nowhere. Now that is where Olympic education comes in. We cannot keep training, but the morals are not there. So Olympic values are helping us to enhance the moral side of our education. So now, Olympic education emphasizes the importance of ethics. integrity, sportsmanship in both the competitive and everyday life. It educates individuals about principles of fair play, ethical conduct, anti-doping practice, safeguarding, clean sport, cheating, competition manipulation, fostering a culture of integrity and respect for the rules. Now, in everything that we do, after educating these people, basing ourselves on the three core values, we have these 5 elements that I want to remind you that apart from the 3 core values, we have the educational themes. Joy of effort is a simple thing. When Madam was here making presentation, Director Angolan Commission, when she was done, we were like, yay! And I asked a question. What happens when we watch a football match, soccer, and shoots the ball and it hits the post? Do we just go, ah, well done, it's a good try? No. Say, hey! Or when he's going, say, yay, it's a score. That is the joy of effort. Because we are saying you tried your best to do what you did. Joy of effort is about appreciation of the effort. Because we encourage people to struggle before to get the victory. Another thing, what is important, is fair play. I am sure somehow the 2 ladies in the left of my hand side here send invitation to everyone. Fairly. Say, okay, invitation to the forum, we all participate. Every one of us has a program. At 9 we have breakfast, at 10 we do. So fair play is a theme in every decision making. Yes, we want everybody else to participate in Olympic Games. Is it fair? How are the qualifiers? Africa does not have more opportunities to qualify. Now the qualifying standards change. Now that is how IOC make decisions. Fair play. Is it fair? Is it consistent? Is the checks and balances all the time? Fair play is part of it. Now, respect for others. As I had shown earlier that the hijabs, I'm not sure if I call it right, the hijabs were accepted. We have to respect the Arab people, their culture, the Muslims, their culture, and preserve their human dignity. So respecting others is respecting ourselves. And it's a theme in the Olympic movement. Pursuit of excellence. One would just say, hey, in Africa, you don't tell me that I should be happy while I'm number 6. And some of us here as presidents and as directors are like, we cannot be clapping for someone who went to the Olympics and got number 9. But hey, remember, we do not mean that when people go to compete, they should be comfortable with position 9. There has to be an element of the pursuit. That is why we said it's the body, the will, and the mind. You should always be willing, persevere to be excellent every time and again. That is why we said people in sports, they will remember the word tenacity, over and over again, practice. And lastly, of course, the balance between the body, will, and the mind. Now that is where I also came in. Because now we have been seated and we have been attacking the cognitive side of the forum. Now we are going to be moving afternoon a bit. Because we have to balance the body, will, and the mind. And we have only been focusing on 2. The mind and the will, we are here. But the body, no chance, okay. Life skills are a rare commodity in these days, and this is the most real thing now. In today's sports landscapes, athletes are celebrated for their skills and rewarded for their substantial financial contracts. Yes, well and good. Yet many lack guidance in critical life skills and ethical standards, which are essential for long-term success and personal integrity. High-profile players like Mason Greenwood, Benjamin Mendy, Jamorant, and many others. South Africans will remember back in the days, Jabu Pule, and many others, underscore how the absence of life skill and ethical grounding can derail promising careers. You can even tell in the US now, this big talent, P. Diddy, Robert Kelly, all these people were struggling with life skills. But amazing talent, a lot of money. We all remember they even donate and give back. But the missing part is the life skills. And now the world is turning around. Olympic values as the life skills are a rare commodity. And now it calls for us as the region, it calls for us as Africa to ensure that in the foundations of every education, we make sure that the life skills are catered for. The element of the values, the element of the principles of Olympism will make us a better country. There is no point where we're developing Matata, where we're making all the workshops without the integrity, because it becomes wasted talent. Now, portrayal on Olympic principle. This is a new concept for us who are in programming in the NOCs. Portrayal, the IOC portrayal guidelines promote equal visibility and fair presentation for women in sports, aiming to close the gender gap in media coverage. This equality in portrayal not only enhances opportunities for women athletes, but also supports their mental well-being. Effort-driven activities. I even remember the presentation from South Africa about equal pay and the challenges, of course, from Angola with difference in pay. Others are more paid and more funded and supported, others are not. And the portrayal is all about saying, let us level off the ground, let us all be fair. And I suppose the forum today is about equity. And here is the thing, IOC fosters a culture that values effort and achievement, positively impacting both gender and athletes' overall happiness. So in an event where we have this gap, IOC with the portrayal program says, okay, now let's close down the gap. Let us have women having equally so the attention and the media exposure. Because we all know when it goes down to economics, is the sales and everything. And I have one good question. For those who follow basketball, they saw the recent statue for Dwayne Wade. Who knows any statue about Serena Williams? Do we have a... Caster Semenya, do we have a statue? No. Why? Because the portrayal. And in an event where we have this imbalance, the IOC came in with the program of portrayal in sports. So as we are here, one of the good reasons we are here is also to ensure that we are ready for visibility. So imagine we equip you guys and you are here now, all popular, you are the Cristianos. Imagine Cristiano as a woman without integrity, what would happen? That is why now the Olympic values come in. Respect, friendship, excellence. Now, here we go again. If you remember, the father of modern Olympics didn't believe in women. If you remember back in the 1900s, Olympics were ugly for men. And somehow women were allowed to just watch. But now, they came to him and said, hey, now it's time for women to participate. He said, no, it's not possible, even doesn't make sense. It's not going even to happen. But somehow women ended up participating in that. And as we saw from the presentation of Madam Matlohang, the transition from back in the days, the numbers of women participating in Olympic Games to date, I think we're at 40% this year in Paris. Imagine from 22 athletes out of 1,000 were women, to where we're like it's 50-50. That is an achievement. That is us breaking the barriers through the concept of equality. Peace, integrity, and human dignity. This is what we talked about, Russia and Ukraine war, where the IOC had to chip in. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings me to the end of the cognitive side of my presentation. The presentation is about the 5 educational themes of Olympism and the 3 core values. The 3 core values are respect, excellence, and friendship. They are the core founding principles and values of Olympism. And now I would like us to stand on our feet to just finish off. Yes, please. So, 10. Oh.
We must finish.
Okay. So he needs to make a speech? He needs to make a speech?
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
Oh, the president leaving now. We must finish. Okay.
Okay. All right. I hope I'm audible. Okay. So you do as I do, you say as I say. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Thumbs down. Knees together. Come on, come on, come on. Energy up, energy up. Thumbs up. Thumbs down. Knees together. Toes together. Shake your body. Ajuga Jaiva. Ajuga Jaiva. Thumbs up. Elbows out. Head aside. Shake your body. Ajuga Jaiva. Ajuga Jaiva. Okay, let's sit down. Just one more thing, 5 minutes. 5 minutes, can I have? Can I have 5 people? Only 5 people. Let me write down. 5 people, 5 participants, please. 5. I prefer not only Portuguese speaking, Portuguese, English, French. Okay, so now, this is a real situation in our NOC, in our region, in our zone. I need, am I audible? Okay. Oh, translation. Okay. Now, I need one person who's blind, who cannot see. Blind. One. Blind. Okay. Blind, come here. Okay. Blind person. One person who cannot, yes. One person who cannot speak. Okay. Yeah. One person who can speak. Who? She can speak? Okay. I need one person who can listen. Okay. Now, you wait, no worry. We are going to have these 4 people navigating themselves out of this way. Let's remember, in every community there is someone who has the talent but who cannot speak, who has the body but who cannot think. You guys are a team. Now, she cannot see. Someone has to be her voice. Who is the voice? Who speak? Please come stand here. Now, someone has to have the knowledge, technical knowledge. Who knows? You. Speak. Okay. You cannot speak. You are the one who knows. Yes. It's fine there. Yeah. You? To listen. Okay. No problem. You tell her how she should navigate. And remember, in real life situation, someone, National Federation, someone, National Olympic Committee, someone, part of us, cannot see, but can move and listen. Someone knows, but cannot do. Someone can speak, but cannot both do. So you only do what you're told. Okay, ready? Go. You navigate from here, go through to that side. No, not her. You tell her what to do. You don't. You wait. You just wait. Yes, you show. Okay, demonstration. You, demonstration. You. Yeah, you gesture. You talk. Okay. This way. Okay.
Vem, ele que faz o sinal. Ela faz o sinal e eu falo. Please, por favor, vem pela direita. Vem andando pela direita. Direita. Vem pela direita. Tem que ser ela vir. Não, ela faz o sinal.
Language is a barrier.
E ela que está cega.
Language is a barrier. Okay, can I do this? Can I do this because we don't have time, okay? Can I do this? Okay, can I do this? Okay.
Vem pela direita.
Now, stop, cut. Okay, let's do this. You speak English? Yes. English. You Portuguese only?
Yes.
Okay. You?
Change, let them change.
Both. Come, change. You go there. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, let's go. Now, you go.
Come to front.
Louder.
On the front, please, left.
Yes, this one no speak.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come. Neighbor, take your hands.
Can I assist here? Okay, I can speak. Matatu, you need to move 2 steps to your right. One, no, still straight, 2 steps to your right, another one to your right. No, not just like that. Put your feet together. To your right, another one straight. No, not forward, to your right.
Not forward, not.
To your right, there you go. Bring the other one closer. Step 1 forward. Bring it together. Go left. Left, far out left. There you go, bring it together. There you go, one right foot straight forward, and together. Am I right, Faku?
Yes, but take the instructions from the gesture. Gesture more.
Matatu, go with your right foot, go to the side, No, there you go. Bring the other foot together. A very, very short one to the front. Very short one to the front. The other one together. Slightly forward with the left. Slightly forward to the left. Slightly forward. A little bit wider. There you go. Bring the other one to the left. Bring the right one to the left. Okay, now you must turn your body slightly to the right. Your feet, with your feet as well. Okay, like that, stay like that. Go with the right foot straight forward. Straight forward. Okay, bring the left one together. Okay, with the left one, you go to the side with the left one. Further away, there you go. Bring the right one to the left foot. Step right to the front. Step outside, straight, and bring the other one together.
There we go. Okay, well done. Thank you. Okay, while we are still here, okay, now, this is a scenario of life. We always have someone as commissions as, we always have that somebody who cannot speak, either as a whole country, as a continent, and someone should be the voice for the voiceless. You remember presentation South Africa? I think I heard that from South Africa. We have to be the voice for the voiceless. We have to be the eyes for those who cannot see. Now, I have a question, 7 questions. One question, did we see any respect in the play? Any respect, anyone? Yes?
I respected the instructions that were given.
Brilliant. Clap hands. Yeah? Respect the rule. That is where the respect comes in. Anyone saw friendship? Okay, friendship as well? How did we see friendship? Why?
She was quick to take her hand.
She was quick to take her hand. Okay, brilliant. Now, excellence. Do you remember what excellence is? Excellence.
Can I speak? Yeah. Eu vi a excelência quando ela exercia muito bem as atividades que a outra dava a ela, sim. Que orientava, sim, sim.
Okay, brilliant. Did we see the joy of effort? Are we sure? When they finished, did you say, yeah? Or we're like, oh, no joy of effort? Joy of effort? Okay. Now I ask question, Mr. President. They go Olympics, they come back. Do we celebrate Africa, or we're like, we always lose Africa? We celebrate. Let's clap hands. That's the joy of effort. All right, thank you. We're now behind time, and thank you for the presentation.
Hey, Mr. Faku, where you go? Ok, terminamos então a brilhante apresentação do Sr. Faku Masupa. Antes de partirmos para um curto intervalo, queria apenas dizer que o nosso trabalho está a ser assistido por uma equipa de tradutores. Eu falo bem francês, falo mais ou menos inglês, mas percebi que tivemos hoje, ou estamos a ter, uma excelente tradução. Estamos a ter uma excelente tradução da empresa Ma África. Por isso vamos saudar e agradecer os nossos tradutores que estão ali atrás de nós. Realmente está a ser pautada pela excelência. Os nossos parabéns. A tradução está correta, quer em inglês, quer em francês. Muito obrigado pela vossa performance. Bom, vamos agora ter um pequeno intervalo, um coffee break de aproximadamente 20-25 minutos. Sorry. It's okay? No, you said no. No, I asked you say no. Vamos ter um pequeno intervalo de cerca de 15-20 minutos para um coffee break. Depois retomamos os trabalhos com o tema número 9, que a nossa colega a Jo vai fazer a apresentação, e depois terminamos com uma representante do nosso Ministério da Família e Promoção da Mulher, que vai falar um pouco sobre a violência no género e a tendência alarmante que se vive em África. Portanto, com isto vamos conseguir terminar os nossos trabalhos por volta das 12h30, 13 horas o máximo. Depois vamos fazer o almoço e vamos então para o prometido passeio. Obrigado. Vamos então para 15-20 minutos de intervalo. O senhor já voltou, o senhor Faku? Já voltou para a sala? Mr. Faku is not here. Não, isto não. Ok. 15 minutos de intervalo. Obrigado.
Fundada aos 14 de abril de 2013 em Luanda, pelo jovem angolano e empreendedor Yusuf Tati, a TV Belas é fruto da coragem da juventude angolana que sempre esteve presente na construção de uma nova Angola. TV Belas, a televisão na palma da sua mão. A TV digital em HD que Angola oferece como uma garantia da evolução neste segmento. Partilhamos histórias emocionantes. Nestes 11 anos de percurso da TV Belas, estivemos em diferentes momentos, quer sejam sociais, desportivos, culturais ou políticos. Nesta caminhada, demos voz a quem precisava. Conversamos e ouvimos os angolanos. Ajudamos na educação do nosso país. Abraçamos o desporto nacional e internacional. Divulgamos e analisamos o estado da saúde em Angola e brindamos a cultura nacional. Continuamos a apostar na juventude angolana e a mantermos a experiência. Por isso, somos o canal online em Angola com mais horas de transmissão de grandes eventos, muitos deles de forma exclusiva. E a festa dos 11 anos tem de ser compartilhada com quem permitiu que a nossa emissora online se tornasse uma das mais importantes de Angola. O futuro é desafiante e a TV Belas pretende investir mais de 70% em meios técnicos e humanos para continuar a transmitir eventos desportivos em direto. A nossa televisão é inovação e transformação com uma equipa de trabalho jovem para todo e qualquer desafio. A sua satisfação é o nosso sucesso. Por isso, vem para a TV Belas. TV Belas. Juntos criamos a nossa história.
See? And on the 2025-2028 Olympic Solidarity. Faku, can you come here quickly? Quadrennial. Okay. Faku, in your absence, we just thank you. You have such a lot of energy, and unfortunately we could not play more games because that was quite interesting, but thank you so, so much. We love the energy, and I think we all have, you know, you have opened some eyes with regards to, you know, the real values and Olympism and the way forward for us. Thank you so much. To the NOCs, Faku is a trained, she's licensed by the IOC to do, I have some competition here, some real competition. Faku is a licensed Olympic Values and Education Program instructor by the IOC. So I saw one of his projects, you know, over a period of 4 days. And I would, if any of the NOCs would like to make use of him, please get in touch with the NOC of Lesotho and let him come over into your country and do Olympic values and education programs. They know what they do and they are excellent. Faku, thank you so much. The next session, like I mentioned, Pedro is from the IOC. Unfortunately, Pedro is not available. He's currently in Panama delivering another project. And we could not establish somebody else to deliver what we wanted him to do. But what it was or is all about, we just wanted you to know and to hear what programs are available through Olympic Solidarity and the Commonwealth Games Federation for us here going forward. And that includes leadership programs, programs for technical officials, for coaches, for administrators, empowerment projects, fully funded by Olympic Solidarity and by the Commonwealth Games Federation. So what I will do is I requested the information from Yasin Yusfi at the IOC. So what I will do is I will compile a sheet, a one-pager, and I will send it to all of you because we do have your email addresses. I will also copy in your secretaries general so that they know that you have the information. And as those programs become available, I strongly recommend that you apply, that you get in touch with your secretaries general and that you apply for those programs. Malibu, our safeguarding officer, did the IOC safeguarding certificate. And many of you can also, or if not all of you can do the safeguarding one. And it is also fully funded by the International Olympic Committee. So that information we will send to you. Any questions on that? And that's all about the programs available, fully funded by the IOC and the Commonwealth Games Federation that you can benefit from. Our last and final session for the day is gender-based violence. And it is an alarming tendency in Africa. You want to say something? Okay, now ladies and gentlemen, gender-based violence does not mean violence against women only. We do have naughty women, so it's violence against women, violence against men. It's gender-based violence. And the reason why we decided to address this is because it has becoming more alarming in Africa more than ever before. And as gender equality commissions, we realize how the important role that we can play in our societies to advocate against gender-based violence. The recent case of the Ugandan athlete, who we all saw on television when she was competing in the Paris Olympic Games. And 2 months later, that very same athlete died because of gender-based violence. We all know, I'm sure we all know the story. And how sad, you know, that we have lost Rebecca. Yeah, it is. It is a panel discussion. So, it is extremely, and each one of us can play a role in the education and awareness of how we can all live peacefully together in our communities. And for this session, ladies and gentlemen, and it is going to be another panel discussion, but first we have a presenter from the Angola Human Rights Department, Clementine. We are so glad that we have you here. Do you have a presentation? Okay. Can you just come, sweetheart, so that I can introduce you? Or she will introduce herself. You can take the podium. She is from the Gender-Based Violence Department here in Angola. And we decided that it would just be right to have somebody locally, because we all in Southern Africa can relate to the same situations. And once she is done with her presentation, we will have a panel discussion. Our panel facilitator is Malibu. Malibu presented yesterday on safeguarding. And our panel is going to be Matatu Fumani from Lesotho, Justine Amopolo from Namibia, and we were on the program, we were supposed to have the Secretary General of the Angola Olympic Committee. We will probably need to have somebody to stand in there. Pardon. And then we also have Mr. Nhlanhla Dlamini from Eswatini. We'll establish a third panel member now. But yeah, let's kick off. Over to you, Clementine.
Saudações a todos os presentes. Chamo-me Clementina Assis, sou técnica da Direção Nacional do Desporto, Ministério da Juventude e Desportos. Vou aqui fazer uma breve apresentação sobre o tema violência no gênero. Pese embora não seja a minha área de atuação, sou gestora desportiva, mas foi-me proposto fazer a apresentação deste tema e não podemos fugir, né? É um desafio, assumimos e aqui estamos. A título introdutório, dizer que a violência baseada no gênero é um problema generalizado em África e pode assumir várias formas, como a violência doméstica, o assédio sexual, o tráfico de pessoas e o abuso emocional e sexual. A violência baseada no gênero é um obstáculo para a igualdade e equidade de gênero e pode limitar o crescimento econômico do continente. Temos o conceito, na visão da Organização Mundial da Saúde, a violência inclui o uso intencional de força, poder físico, ou ameaças contra si mesmo, outra pessoa ou contra um grupo ou comunidade, cujo resultado desemboca com alta probabilidade em lesões, morte, sequelas psicológicas ou mau comportamento. Dizer que, historicamente, as mulheres têm sido ou são as mais atingidas, um pouco por conta das relações desiguais. Dentre os tipos, aqui temos 5 tipos de violência elencados. Temos a violência física, que é entendida como qualquer ação que ofenda a integridade ou saúde corporal. Temos a violência psicológica, que há bem pouco tempo esteve a nossa companheira fazer menção. A violência psicológica. Temos a violência sexual. A título de exemplo, violência sexual num passado um tanto quanto recente, que eu penso que é um episódio que despoletou no ano passado, da nossa ginasta norte-americana, a Simon, que era abusada sexualmente pelo ex-médico da equipa. Assim como ela, outras ginásticas também eram abusadas, ou seja, que sofriam ou eram marginalizadas, Temos a violência patrimonial, que ontem também foi dito aqui, penso que a companheira do Botsuana, África do Sul, se não estou em erro, quando falava da paridade, que a modalidade de cricket foi uma conquista, no âmbito da aplicação do plano ou do programa contra ou baseada no gênero. Botsuana, na modalidade de cricket, conseguiu que os contratos fossem equilibrados, que hoje por hoje uma profissional do gênero feminino já recebe o mesmo que um profissional do gênero masculino. E isso também podemos notar noutras realidades, onde ainda tem mesmo em que falando de atletas, o valor que um atleta masculino, do gênero masculino alfero, recebe é diferente de um atleta do gênero feminino. Ou seja, que o atleta do gênero feminino recebe um valor inferior em relação ao atleta do gênero masculino. E, por último, a violência moral. Quando dizia que fez menção a companheira, que fez a apresentação, era na violência física, que eu faço assim embaixo, deparamos-nos com a situação da atleta do Uganda que foi queimada pelo esposo. Isso é violência física. Dentre as causas, e consequências, preferi não colocar aqui causas, porque já sabemos de antemão que a causa principal da violência no género, sobretudo, é a desigualdade. E dentre as consequências, elencamos aqui algumas, que é uma afirmação também da Organização Mundial da Saúde, tais como o isolamento, é uma das consequências do isolamento, a falta de participação em atividades regulares, que também falou-se aqui nesta sala, que um dos incentivos, né, ou da falta de motivação que as mulheres, né, têm muitas das vezes, deixam de praticar atividade, é muito por conta da violência por qual ou pelas quais passam, então sentem-se um tanto quanto como que intimidadas em participar em determinadas atividades. Temos as perturbações intelectuais e da memória, temos as perturbações relacionais, sintomatologia depressiva, distúrbios de ansiedade, dentre outras consequências. Instrumentos legais, temos a Convenção das Nações Unidas sobre a eliminação de todas as formas de discriminação contra as mulheres. Ainda aqui na nossa realidade temos leis do país contra a violência doméstica, não obstante temos a Política Nacional de Igualdade e Equidade de Gênero, que de alguma forma procuram proteger as mulheres contra a violência. Dentro da contextualização, pesquisas feitas pelo nosso Instituto Nacional de Estatística, no ano de 2022, temos aqui alguns indicadores. A pesquisa de indicadores múltiplos e de saúde relata que 22% das mulheres angolanas sofreram violência física. Violência física. Desde os 15 anos de idade, 8% serão vítimas de violência sexual em algum momento das suas vidas. E 34% foram vítimas de violência física ou sexual perpetradas pelos próprios parceiros. Dizer que nesta percentagem de 8%, são situações muitas das vezes que têm envolvido os pais, como autores, né, da violência sexual, no caso, os pais, os avós, os irmãos, os primos, ou seja que esta violência é praticada em muitos casos, né, no seio familiar. Ainda dentro da contextualização, a maioria dos cidadãos diz que é uma realidade, a violência baseada no gênero é uma realidade comum nas suas comunidades e deve ser tratada como uma questão criminal e não como um assunto privado a ser resolvido dentro da família. Os cidadãos expressam confiança e que a polícia leva a sério os casos relatados de violência baseada no gênero. Em Angola, já há mecanismos criados pelo próprio Estado no sentido de desincentivar, né, de alguma forma, estas práticas, como é o caso do SOS Criança, do Instituto Nacional da Criança, do INAC, e outras formas de denúncia. E ontem falou-se aqui sobre a salvaguarda, né, dizer que quem faz a denúncia não é exposto. Apesar destes instrumentos normativos e legais, ainda existem grandes desafios no combate da violência baseada no gênero, tanto na valorização da sociedade sobre a necessidade de combatê-la, quanto no compromisso do governo com ações decisivas para a sua eliminação. Dizer que as nossas entidades governamentais estão preocupadas, né, com o tema, assim sendo, a coisa de 3 semanas, o nosso Presidente da República, quando da abordagem sobre o Estado da Nação, fez menção de que medidas sérias devem ser tomadas contra os autores ou os prevaricadores destes atos. Não obstante, a primeira-dama da República também recentemente realizou a criança menores, para dizer que há toda uma preocupação por parte das nossas entidades governamentais em criar mecanismos para a proteção das pessoas, contra a violência baseada no género, sobretudo. Aqui algumas estratégias, aqui como extensiva à África. Aqui a estratégia e quadro da ação da SADC para combater a violência baseada no género. Em 2018, os ministros da SADC responsáveis pela igualdade de género e assuntos da mulher em Pretória, África do Sul, aprovaram a estratégia e o quadro de ação da SADC para combater a violência baseada no género 2018-2030, com vista a operacionalizar as disposições do protocolo da SADC sobre o género e o desenvolvimento respeitantes à referida violência. Esta estratégia visa oferecer uma plataforma e uma orientação comuns a nível regional e nacional para uma abordagem holística e coordenada, eficaz, de combater a violência baseada no género na região da SADC. A estratégia está alinhada com instrumentos regionais, continentais e internacionais pertinentes sobre o género e a violência baseada no género. Só para fazer menção de que há todo um trabalho que está a ser feito a nível da região em prol da violência baseada no género. Pois aqui elencamos algumas medidas, já para terminar, algumas medidas de combate à violência baseada no género, como é a educação. Sabemos que isso é uma área transversal, envolve vários setores, então temos aqui a educação e conscientização, passa pelo apoio às vítimas, denúncia, promoção de relações respeituosas, apoiar políticas públicas e, por último, não menos importante, criar redes de apoio comunitário. Esse é o último slide. Mas, pronto, eu não coloquei aqui nenhuma frase célebre, Coloquei uma máxima que todos nós possamos dizer não a todas as manifestações de violência. E abro aqui um parênteses também para dizer, o colega que antecedeu-me falou muito bem sobre os valores do olimpismo, na visão, se calhar, dos nossos filósofos, Platão, Aristóteles e outros, que fazem a abordagem da ética, a ética como valor do bem, do justo, impera aqui o valor como respeito, a amizade, a solidariedade. Nesta luta contra a violência no género, nós as mulheres não queremos senão aparecer mais como parceiros, que não sejamos vistas como adversárias, que não sejamos vistas como inimigas, senão que sejamos vistas como parceiras, para podermos desta forma avançar no cumprimento dos nossos planos, quer de cada um dos países da região, quer da União Africana e, não menos importante, para aquilo que é o cumprimento dos Objetivos do Desenvolvimento Sustentável da Agenda 2020-2030 das Nações Unidas. Muito obrigada pela atenção. Estamos abertos a qualquer pergunta.
Thank you so much for a very brief but a very insightful presentation. So I'm going to invite now Malibu, who's going to facilitate the session. We're going to put a chair here for you because I'm sure there will be questions to you as well. So if you can just...
se sentar aqui porque vão fazer alguma. Ela tem certeza que vão te perguntar algumas coisas.
We are going to have Matatu, Justine, Bonnie, and Henry as our panel, as our panelists. Yeah, but then we still need yeah. Henry. Let's just take this one. No, sweetheart, we can put it here. Henry, this side, so that we have the, you know, the presenter there. There we go. Nice? It's enough. Thank you. I'm going to put this one.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Mic test. Is it okay? Thank you very much. And thank you very much for the panel. It's a very interesting topic to end our conference. And a very challenging one because indeed, as all the speakers have said, we are in trouble with the gender-based violence in our countries. And like I was saying yesterday, sport is not immune to the social ills. And we seem to be not having those database on the abuse in sport. And yet we are daily, yearly, monthly losing athletes in under this topic of gender-based violence. Let me take this opportunity to welcome our panel. Thank you very much for making time to come and share with us on your view regarding this topic. I just want maybe to start with you, Mr. Dlamini, on what you think gender-based violence in your country, what are the common forms of gender-based violence that you find in your country?